Hey there, and welcome to GamePoints episode 96 here live at Twitch TV/GamePoints. Thank you for joining us. If you happen to be watching us live here at the aforementioned address, please feel free to drop in the chat, join in the conversation. We try to get to you whenever we can. If you're watching us over at YouTube, like, follow, subscribe, and all that good stuff, comment down below, and we try to get to whenever we can as well. Tonight's show, it's going to get a tad ranty, and I apologize for that. We got to talk about some DMCA abuse still going on, and yeah, it is going to be from me. We're also going to talk about the possible WoW expansion, what it could be coming up. There are some hints as to what its setting might be. We're going to get into Oculus Rift price drops, a whole bunch of other stuff, so stick around. You'll be glad you did. But first, David, what did you do over the weekend?
Dude, did you watch that Castlevania Netflix series that I know you watched because we watched it at the same time?
You're ruining the illusion, David.
I know.
Oh, no, that Castlevania series is fucking amazing, isn't it?
So it's kind of funny because Trevor seems kind of like a chump the first two episodes. The biggest, I guess the only complaint I have about it, we'll start with that, is the fact that it's not just one movie.
Yeah,
it should literally just be like the Castlevania animated movie as a precursor to an actual multi-episode anime. Because it's currently 4 episodes that are 25 minutes long. So
I have an idea as to why they did that. It's so they can expand on it easily. Because if you make it a movie, it has to have a definitive end.
Yeah.
If you make it a series, you can end it like on a big cliffhanger.
That's fair. But we do know that people already like it. It's very stylish. It's not for kids at all, which is appreciated.
Terrifyingly gruesome.
It's pretty dark. It's great. I actually really enjoy it, and I can't wait. They've already been greenlit for 8 more episodes, so we got that to look forward to.
Yeah, extremely excited for it. Adi Shankar is the mind behind it. If you don't know, this is the guy that very recently did that really dark and gritty Power Rangers update that had James Vanderbeek and, what's her name? From Katie Stackhoff had her in it as well.
Which was also pretty great.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend taking a look at that as well. You can probably still find it on YouTube. Rumor is, I don't know if it's rumor, this could actually be true now or not, he is going to be doing the same thing with Assassin's Creed that he has done with Castlevania here, making a very dark, gritty cartoon, which has potential. I'm not a big fan of that franchise of Castlevania, but looking forward to seeing what he can do with it.
Could be good.
Indeed.
Never can tell.
All right. I have to
you gotta take a breath
for this one.
You gotta get ready. Okay, so
full
warning for people that don't know what we've been talking about for the last 3 weeks, because yes, this has been going on for 3 weeks. I will cover the basics since you're just going to rant for the next 20 minutes. But there's a person. Her name is Alex Maurer. Alex Maurer is a media creation person. She makes music for video games. She made music for a game called
Star Mazer.
Star Mazer. Star Mazer
DSP.
DSP, thank you. Because I know it had some weird acronym on the end. And she had a contract. She made music. She was paid for the music she made, to our knowledge. She left during the development cycle, so she didn't stay for the completion. She had something to attend to. She left for whatever reason. This is all kinds of fun stuff. And then proceeded to get mad at Imagos, the company that makes Star Mazer, say that they owed her money, and instead of going after them in any legal fashion, instead started placing DMCA strikes against YouTubers that had YouTube videos featuring Star Mazer. Not Imagos videos, not against anybody that actually owned what we were talking about, but literally just Let's Plays or reviews or, hey, look at this cool new game that I want to talk about as a YouTube personality. And then she's making strikes against their channels. People are getting videos pulled, which is a pretty big deal because with YouTube, if you get 3 strikes, you're fucking done. Which is really bad, especially if you're one of those YouTubers that actually makes a living off YouTube.
Because it's 2017 and screw with your channel.
It's 2017. There's people that do that. So yes, there's actually livelihoods at stake, and it's been an issue. Last time we reported on this, the strikes had slowed down significantly. From what we knew, the Imagos team were actually still going to be taking her to court because it had gone on too far. They'd had their name dragged through the mud too much. But as far as we were aware, she was getting some help. There might have been some issues there, something that she might have needed treated. We don't know all the full details there. But in a story that we thought was quiet and a story that we thought was over, turns out we were all wrong.
Right. Now,
And just over this last week, she's back in a big way. And I'll let you go over the new stuff.
So, like you said, David, we thought we were finished with the story last week and that she was, according to sources, getting the help that she needs. Apparently that help didn't take, because over the past few days, Alex Maurer has expanded the list of games she is now filing claims against, specifically to River City Ransom Underground, I believe. And I'm hearing Death Road to Canada as well. She started to file DMCA takedown requests not only with YouTube, but Twitch, and even started to attack Valve over this. Now, Valve, to their credit, doesn't have a system like YouTube. Apparently, it seems like they have someone behind the scenes, and they are kind of serving as a goalkeeper to keep them from affecting that too much. By the way, before I get too deep into this, I do want to thank Sid Alpha for all of this information. He has done a very good service to the community by covering this to his own personal detriment, because she is now targeting him as well. But going on, Maurer sent out a bunch of emails and several DMC strikes across YouTube and is just essentially being a general nuisance. The good news is YouTube, in its ponderous ass, is finally kind of starting to see what's going on here and sent Alex Maurer an email saying, hey, we suspect these claims might be fraudulent. We need to remind you that blah, 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 you could be in trouble, etc. The problem is, for the most part, while the DMCA claims that she's filing seems to have slowed down, there are still a lot of people slipping through the cracks, and they are getting hit with strikes as of today even still. Now, today, yes, and I'll get more into that as we go on. Later in the week, Leonard French, lawyer for Imago Software, officially served Maurer with legal papers, and Maurer hinted at saying, hey, if you just give me the GoFundMe money, we'll call it square. Fuck off. Alex Maurer then claimed she was representing herself in court, which kind of made me chuckle a little bit, but she has since backed off with that because she probably finally listened to a lawyer who said, hey, don't do that.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
On July 7th, a second wave of DMCA strikes went out to have several channels brought down. I'm sorry, I take that back. I read that wrong. My notes read that wrong. On July 7th, multiple DMCAs started getting withdrawn, with Maurer taking credit for it. Now, Maurer then went on social media to say, hey, she's removing them not because she's wrong, which she is, but because of horrible transphobia being directed at her, and it is. Cursory look at any of the social media she appears on shows horrible comments being thrown her way, which is unnecessary.
Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Unnecessary and unhelpful. Attack her argument, attack what she is doing, but don't fucking attack her. Come on, guys. What she is doing is fucked up enough. We don't need to bring in all that other shit in here, because it does not serve a purpose. Don't do it.
It's actually kind of horrifying. If you look at her Twitter page, it's literally just her posting all the death threats and hate speech and all this other fucked up shit she's getting from every goddamn corner of the internet. It's pretty sickening.
That said, she is also doing that herself too. She is also sending out death threats and horrible things to other people. Don't be an asshole. Don't join in on it. Attack what she's doing. Leave that shit in the gutter where it belongs. But she was pulling all the DMCA strikes. Awesome, right? Okay, it sucks that happened. Her reasoning for it's bullshit. She's trying to play the victim in saying, hey, these people are doing horrible things to me, and they are. But you were doing horrible things as well. So that's not an excuse for what you have done. That said, 12 hours ago, the DMCA strike started going back out again with an expanded game list, including the River City Ransom game. I'm told Death Road to Canada. There are people suddenly going, hey, my shit's getting taken down, because what YouTube did is, it seems, anything Star Maze related is safe. The stuff that Sid Alpha put up, despite Alex Maurer saying, hey, I just fired off a DMCA claim to him, that stuff's safe. But the rest of it's still fucking automated, and people are getting their channels taken down. Again. Because YouTube is fucking trash when it comes to this stuff.
That's the big thing that I'm mad at in this whole story, because none of this, like, this entire story would have stopped 3 weeks ago if YouTube's fucking strike system had any amount of personal interaction. If it wasn't just, oh, okay, you submitted a claim. Well, I'm a computer, so your claim's good. You pass, and we're going to take this channel, or we're going to take this video down.
That is...
There's nothing. There's no checkbox. There's no validation. There's no fucking anything. It's a damn joke.
That is my biggest fucking beef with this thing right here, because clearly Alex Maurer is deranged, for lack of a better word. She has issues. Horrible things are happening to her right now, yes, but don't let that cloud your judgment in the fact that all of this is completely uncalled for still from her behalf. But none of this would have come to pass if it wasn't for fucking YouTube, and they finally got off their asses and started doing something, and as expected, it's fucking half-assed, because guess whose channel is still up? Hers. Guess who's allowed to make all these DMCA claims? Still, she is. All they did was probably put a little checkbox saying, okay, anything from her from Star Mazer, just ignore. So now she has fucking branched out, and she's now ruining other people's fucking lives. And it is a goddamn joke, YouTube. I am so fucking sick and tired of you kicking the goddamn can around and ignoring the problem that's happening because you're fucking afraid to actually take accountability for your actions. And you know what's even more fucked up about all this is that every single person that needs to file a counterclaim has to give Alex Maurer their personal address, phone number, email, and all kinds of personal information. And remember, while she is getting horrible fucking death threats, she has also threatened in turn to kill people. So they are faced with two choices. Send their personal information, where they live, and their contact information to a woman who has actually made threats against the lawyer suing her among a bunch of other people, or just suck up the claim. Fuck you, YouTube, and fuck your goddamn system. It is total bullshit.
Feel any better?
No.
Just checking.
Anyways.
Yeah.
For
me, that's the big thing.
Go ahead.
Because there's obviously issues here, probably on all sides, because we're never going to hear the whole story. No matter how this plays out, we're never going to know what actually happened. We're never going to know what MJO said. We're never going to know what Alex said. We don't fucking know, and we're never going to know. We're going to know the outcome of a court case. That's where this is going to go.
That is where this has gone. It is at the point now to where there is going to be no amicable separation.
No, I'm saying, like, that's the only end of this story, is someone slamming a gavel. Like, that's it. That is the end of this story. This story will continue until that happens.
And I want YouTube to get dragged into this. I want them to drag their ass before a lawyer and have a judge, rather, and have a judge go, why the fuck do you have this system in place that declares people guilty before innocent? You need to fucking have some accountability, because it is fucking extortion that is happening on their channel, on their brand. A woman is extorting channels from people who use their brand, saying, do what I want or I will ruin your business. Nice channel you got here. Shame if something happens to it. And YouTube can fix this, and they're turning a blind eye to it, and it is no different than fucking G2A.
Damn, bringing those guys up. Full disclosure, we don't like those guys.
I am fucking heated. I thought this was done. I had sympathy for Alex Maurer last week when I heard she is getting the help she needs. I was like, okay, we're going to let the story rest. We're going to let it drop. Things have been settled. Things will handle out of court. As far as I was concerned, this was over. But fuck me if it's not. Here we are again, talking about this goddamn story because she went off the deep end, started filing all kinds of fraudulent claims against everyone, and YouTube and its fucking incompetence has not fully resolved the situation. I will give them credit that they seem to have actually taken some steps to keep some of the bigger channels from going under, or channels that were showing Star Mazer footage. Congratulations, you did the least amount of work you possibly could have. But this bullshit about other channels getting taken down just shows that your system is still flawed beyond any reasonable standard, and it needs to change immediately.
That's the takeaway I want everybody to have. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm concerned, this is still the entirety of YouTube's fault.
Yeah. This is no longer.
Yes, this is a person. This is a person that has issues. This is a person who's going off the fucking deep end. That is true. The only reason why she's able to do this is because YouTube has literally no content protections in place whatsoever.
She is a symptom
they don't give
of
a
far more malignant disease.
Yep. Because here's the thing. this story can continue. This story can be dragged on for weeks and weeks and weeks. But as of right now, there's literally nothing stopping this exact thing from happening again with a whole new batch of characters a week from now.
Yeah, well, this has been going on for years now. Let's not, I mean, Nintendo.
Yep.
Look at them. You want someone smaller, something a little bit more apples to apples?
They pulled our shit down. Who the fuck are we?
You want a more apples to apples comparison? Look at what fucking Digital Homicide did to Jim Sterling because of criticism. They took him to court for a year plus and tried to sue him for $10 million, and fucking YouTube let that happen with their bullshit claim system, and he has to build up with fucking false strikes all the time, to where now he had reached the point where I think he said he's one of the few creators that YouTube will actually reach out to and give him some leniency on. But that needs to be the standard, not the fucking exception to the rule.
Hire some people, YouTube. Get your shit together. Take all your shit.
Fucking afford it.
So it's together. Get a backpack or something. I don't know. Just get it together.
All right. Enough of that right now. After this,
we'll be right back to this next week. I almost fucking guarantee it.
No. I'm considering this story probably dead at this point until we actually have a legal notice. Because what else is going to happen? The same thing. The only reason why this got brought up again is because she pulled the strike, said she was getting help, or rather reports were saying she was getting help, and then they resurfaced again. So I'm pissed off at feeling sympathetic for her and then having this happen again. But now I just know what to expect. So until we actually have some sort of legal ramification or YouTube makes an official statement on this, this is the end of the Alex Mauer story until one of those two things happen. Either YouTube takes a stand or we have a legal resolution.
It's just too shitty. It's shitty on all sides.
It is.
I don't like talking about it. Makes me feel bad.
Well, with any luck, we won't have to until the actual end happens. What else has happened this week, David?
Okay, well, on a completely unrelated, opposite direction tangent, something that VR fans have been waiting for has finally happened, and the Oculus Rift price drop has happened. And it's pretty sweet. So, via Upload VR, they've told us, or I guess the whole internet, we're just repeating it.
Yeah,
starting today and running for the next...
It's not like they got a hold of me and said, hey, mention this on your show, because, well, no one watches. I just happened to find the article.
No, that's exactly what happened. We're going to run with that. This episode is sponsored by Upload VR. So anyway, starting right this second, right now, hey, right the fuck now, get away from Amazon and all your Prime deals, and go look at the fact that you can get Oculus Rift and the Touch Bundle, and it's $399.
Yeah, it's a fucking amazing price.
That's cheap as shit. You can get the Oculus Rift and the Touch Bundle for the price of a PS4. Oh, PS4 Pro.
Keep in mind, this is a temporary price cut. It is only going to go for 6 weeks, at which time the bundle price will return to $598. However, something tells me that this is going to be a permanent price cut.
Yeah, I'd imagine. We've been kind of waiting for the VR price drops. Honestly, the cheaper this stuff gets, the more people will adopt it, and the more people will bother to make games for it, because as it is, not a lot of people want to push games for a system, or whatever you want to call it, that very people can even run.
Right. It has a very high price of entry.
VR is expensive to get into, and it's even more expensive to have a rig that can actually pull it off. So the cheaper the actual set gets, the easier it is to put that money into having a computer good enough to play the damn thing. So
also important to highlight that this is not only the Rift, but the touch controllers as well. Let me go back up this.
I believe the touch controllers are just bundled with the Rift now.
Oh,
since they're released.
It's no longer a separate.
Yeah, I think that's how they built it. Is that the touch stuff just comes with it now. All
right. Either way, $400. That's PlayStation VR prices. I thought that was a reasonable price for the PSVR. This is a more powerful PSVR that you're not tied to a console for.
I'm actually pretty excited about this. If I had any amount of money, I might be seriously considering it. But I'm super broke, so.
Yeah, I mean, aren't we all, right?
I think we need to talk about, like, I don't know, something video game related that's maybe way cheaper.
Well, I mean, if you're really wanting to try things out a la Netflix without actually buying movies, but just renting them for a little bit, there's something like that for indie games coming out soon. It's called Jump. This next story is via IGN. Jump strives to be the Netflix for games while still benefiting indie game developers. Going on to the article itself, a new on-demand subscription-based video game service called Jump is preparing to launch, offering an initial library of 60 to 100 indie games playable for a fat monthly fee of $9.99 per month. After a closed beta period running between now and July 24th with a sample library of 10 to 20 games, the full service will offer unlimited ad-free playtime in its highly curated library with about 10 new games added each month. David, what do you think?
So it's kind of funny because for me, this is a combination of several things, because it kind of makes me think of the game streaming services that all died, like the Kai and the hell was that one that was sort of popular? That was it Twitch that bought them or Razer bought them?
I don't even recall that name at all.
Oh, yeah, I can't think of it at all. But there was totally a subscription service that you could pay money to, and it's one of those gaming with the cloud services that happened a while ago. It's kind of still in that vein, but I'm assuming you're actually going to download these titles and they're not running any servers. I do like the fact that it's all going to be indie games, and so you're not going to have all your games lost by the wayside of AAA. My only major concern is what they're going to use to gate the content. Because while, yes, there are some amazing indie games out there, there are also some fucking terrible ones. So as long as we can stay on the better end of the spectrum and actually hopefully get some developers or anyone playtest this stuff, and we don't have a Steam greenlit situation, because guess what? There's not a chance in hell I'd pay $10 a month to play a new batch of Steam greenlit shit.
Yeah,
it's just not worth it. There's
this
no way I would do that.
This system is going to live and die on its curation.
Exactly. If they pay close attention to what they let on their service, and it's got some sweet games on there, hell, that's a pretty good deal. Because all the best, I mean, in my opinion, platformers, roguelikes, roguelites, dungeon games, I mean, small RPGs, hell, they're all the indie games nowadays. The stuff you can play in chunks, the stuff that you can beat in a couple of hours. That's where all the fun is for me. That 800-plus hour AAA games that I'm never going to beat anyway because I don't have that much free time, I'm less interested in.
The problem with this is, at least when it comes to me, $10 a month sounds nice and all, but a lot of the indie games that I have an interest in are already $10, and they're not releasing 5 of them a month.
Yeah. Or they're cheaper, and you can buy them all for that much.
Yeah.
So the other thing is that this does kind of seem to me like the Humble Bundle monthly service, if you're familiar with that at all.
I'm not.
Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle has a monthly service. You can pay Humble Bundle a certain amount of money a month and get access to games. But their games include AAA games.
Okay. Yeah, see, I don't know.
I mean, it's literally, you would get a bundle of games sent to you every month. It's like $12 a month. Like, I think this month you get the new NBA game and Pillars of Eternity for $12.
Yeah, I don't know. I want this to be good, but something about it just doesn't scream hit to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because indie games are already so quote-unquote cheap to begin with, or because while I enjoy a lot of indie games, in fact, some of the ones I just keep playing over and over again are indie, they're not releasing them in mass quantities to justify me paying for this and they are so cheap. Like I said, I'd rather spend $10 for the one indie game I'm buying a month than $10 to play the one indie game a month for a limited time, or for how long it's. I don't know. The price and the demand seem off. I get what they're doing. I hope it works out for them. Apparently, the developers get a kind of nice cut from it as opposed to other services that have tried this before. We'll see how it works out, but I don't think we're going to hear of this name ever again in another 2 months.
Who knows? Could be the next big thing.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Probably won't be.
I also said Steam was going to fail when it first came out with Half-Life 2, so... Look how that turned out.
Yeah. Disclosure, you're kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
That's funny.
What's next up on Story, David?
Oh, man, we should really redo how we do this, because this is the wrong thing for me to talk about. But I guess I'll talk about the fact that via Wowhead, which is a fucking World of Warcraft forum, data miners, the most exciting of people...
Keep your enthusiasm to a minimum here, David. I don't want you to get over.
Data miners got all up in the latest 7.3 PTR patch for World of Warcraft build. They found a bunch of items and voice lines that suggest that WoW's new expansion would feature Kul Tiras, which is the homeland of Jaina, and there's Kulturized quest armor, and there's data files, and there's dialogue, and there's old gods.
You just don't give
Anyway,
a fuck.
I really don't give a fuck about speculation on WoW's newest expansion. However, if you are the kind of person that gives tons of fucks, you should check out this article on Wowhead that we will have in the description below this video.
Got it right here.
Someone else read this shit, because seriously, this game is like really old, and I just am not that excited about stuff data miners find. Oh, here's a new item name. Oh, I'm so excited for this item name.
David. Let me put a stop to it right now. How about I take this over from here?
All right.
Get the next one.
All right. I mean, you probably get the same from me, but let's do it.
All right. So, like David was saying, data miners in the latest public test realm found a whole bunch of information that hints at the location of the next expansion. Now, if you're a fan of Warcraft, you kind of know, or World of Warcraft, right? You kind of know that all the major threats have been dealt with or will be dealt with by the end of Legion, except one.
Spoilers.
It's fucking obvious. By the way, the boat sinks at the end of Titanic.
Oh, shit.
Except one. Those are the old gods. Those are the Cthulhu-esque puppet masters behind everything. Now, the new armor set they're seeing here is called the Kulturized Quest Armor. Has a bunch of things that hint that Kulturis might actually be a location in the future WoW expansion. Why is that important? Well, relates to Jaina Proudmoore. Jaina has gone missing. She is a major character of the WoW universe, and she went missing on very poor terms. She was essentially pissed off at Dalaran for letting the Horde back in. It's a lot of drama. I'm not going to get into it, but long story short, it sounds like she might be set up to become the next villain in the WoW expansion. And they're due for one because they made the guy from Warlords of Draenor from the Horde bad, so they need an Alliance person to go bad as well to kind of balance the scales. Of course, this is all rumor and speculation. No word on it. This is actually how it's going to shake out. But after this expansion, if they actually do tackle the Old Gods, what's really important is the fact that, well, all of your threats have been dealt with. Where do you go after that? And the next WoW expansion might be the last.
I think what's really important is the fact that this game is so fucking big and so fucking old and is still bringing out huge content updates that makes everybody shit themselves every time.
Yeah, it's not...
13 years later, and this game is, while not as popular as it used to be, while it is losing an amount of subscribers, still has a shit ton of people that play it on the daily, and still has some pretty huge content updates. That, at least, I can say is cool.
Yeah, that's why we talk about it.
I'm 13 years late for the party, and I don't really need to get into all that.
Fair enough. Nor should you.
Something that I might actually get in on, we could talk about this other new thing that's still Blizzard-related, and that's the fact that we finally have seen DoomFist, the often rumored and constantly speculated character that everyone has seen the glove to that was in the original trailer, like the teaser trailer for Overwatch before it came out with kids and Tracer and that fight scene. That big giant glove of DoomFist who punches through things. And yes, he's another offensive character.
Well done, David.
The big story out of this, though, is the fact that while all of the internet wanted it, it did not happen. He is not voiced by Terry Crews. As of this time, Terry Crews is still not in this game at all, although we do have him coming to Crackdown 3 later this year.
Do we know Terry Crews is actually in that, or was he just in the trailer?
Terry Crews is legitimately in Crackdown 3, yes. That is a thing.
Okay.
Terry Crews has also been to the Blizzard Studios, and while he is not DoomFist, it is possible that he could voice another character down the line. They had actually already kind of built the character out. They knew what they wanted to be, and they knew they wanted the character to be very serious. Having Terry Crews shout woo and pow and suck on that isn't really who they were going for.
Yeah, so I'm actually surprised at how serious the DoomFist character is. I mean, his fucking name is DoomFist, right?
His name is Akande Ogunmundu.
No. He's DoomFist.
Okay, well, yeah. But he's
Clark
from Nigeria.
Kent's name isn't fucking Clark Kent. It's Superman.
Well, anyway, he's from Nigeria, and because Blizzard's pretty cool, they actually had a dude from Nigeria voice him.
Now, admittedly, that is, I think that's fucking badass. I am not one.
So his voice sounds right. His character aesthetic looks right. He's an offensive character. He actually has like a rapid fire shoot with his offhand. He's currently on the PTR. He's not on the live game yet. But like I mentioned, he is another offensive character in a game filled with offense. Still no new defensive characters. What the fuck, Blizzard? Give me a reason to come play your game again. It has been over a year, and this is the 4th character that you have announced.
What
Come
about
on,
the
son.
robot mech thing?
That was the 3rd character.
Osmid or something. Is that a defensive character?
She's a tank.
You want like a healer of some kind.
No, we have a healer. That's a support. I want a defense character.
Who falls into the defensive class? Junkrat, Widowmaker.
Hanzo, May.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Oblerone. You know those chocolate guys? Is it the chocolate dwarf?
Hey, I like a Toblerone every now and then. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. But yeah, DoomFist. Everyone was kind of waiting for it, and it finally happened. So get excited, Blizzard fans, or Overwatch fans, I guess.
We'll see how that shakes out.
The big thing for me is I actually can't wait for this guy to get converted and show up in Heroes of the Storm, because really that's all I pay attention to Overwatch for now.
Let's face it, all Blizzard games are designed just to go into Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for Blackthorn to come up in it. That guy from
Blackthorn. I mean, that's the big thing. If we get a new WoW expansion, we get Evil Jaina, then maybe we're going to get an Evil Jaina skin in Heroes of the Storm, and there's going to be an event for it. We're going to play 15 games with friends. It's possible. Anyway, I think that is all the Blizzard news I have for today.
Let's go ahead and move on to the next story then. And that is going to be that Star Wars Battlefront 2 has a multiplayer beta coming out in October. Yay! I mean, this is all stuff that we knew was going to happen, right?
Is this like exactly a year after the beta for the first one?
That I don't know.
It feels really close. I feel like I was playing that other game a year ago.
According to this official EA posting right here, the Star Wars Battlefront 2 multiplayer beta is on the way, available for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Origin for PC in October. Fans who pre-order Star Wars Battlefront 2 will be able to play the beta early starting October 4th. The beta opens to the public 2 days later on October 6th, and the beta will run through October 9th. 2 things. First, betas really aren't betas anymore these days.
I was going to say eye roll. I say eye roll because you can't see me, but I did roll my eyes as soon as you said those who pre-order.
Don't worry, I did the same for you as well. Betas aren't betas are not betas anymore these days. It's fucking marketing. The game that you're playing early is 99% complete. This isn't like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds where that is an actual fucking beta. That's an early access. Hey, we are changing the game based on your feedback. Battlefront 2's beta is marketing. Any AAA beta is fucking marketing designed to get you to.
They might fix like 1 or 2 bugs because they will have a forum somewhere where you can go submit a bug ticket, and they'll probably have 1 or 2 guys actually trying to work on those bugs. But more or less, they're working on the DLC, son. They don't give a fuck. The game's done.
Which brings me to my second point. Not only is this not a beta, it's designed to push fucking pre-orders. Because did you hear the part that we paused and rolled our eyes at? If you pre-order, you can play it 2 days earlier. Fuck off.
2 days.
So here's the fun part. Paid demo. That is what this is.
Yeah. So if you pay $60 for something that you don't own, then you can own that thing 2 days earlier than normal.
EA would say you own you have rights to the service, that you do not own the game.
Ooh, that's right. Okay, so if you pay $60, you cannot own a thing you still won't own 2 days earlier than the day you won't normally own it. Is that confusing sounding enough?
It's so bullshit. It's a way to push pre-orders again. And remember, the GamePoints man should never pre-order, because they are asking for an upfront investment with zero interest for something that you have no idea how it's going to play and that you have only seen doctored screenshots on, bullshit demos on display at E3, and fucking gameplay, quote unquote, running on computers that would cost 10 grand to build on your own.
However, I will say with some confidence that since this is a game that's put together by DICE, if you do have a $10,000 computer, chances are it does actually look that good. And the one thing I can definitely guarantee is it's going to sound great. because that's always been my
Yes.
thing with dice games. Their sound design is amazing. And the first time I played Battlefront and just started hearing the blaster fire and the TIE fighters screaming overhead, I was a little kid again, man.
Yeah,
So,
Star Wars Battlefront 1 was amazing for about 3 weeks. And then the lack of content killed it for me.
there's just not enough to do. So if this game's got a ton of stuff, hey, check it out. If you just make this Battlefront 2 what we all wanted Battlefront 3 to be that one time, man, we'd be excited. We'd pay you big money for that. Because if you remember, these guys are just rebuilding a series that's already been out. And the old series, while it didn't look as good, was better. Don't get me wrong.
I agree.
This isn't a bad game. Shoots well, plays well, sounds well. The old games were better games.
I'm hoping Battlefront 2 is actually a full game this time around, too.
Only time will tell.
But from what I believe, they had said that there is no galactic conquest on this. So, even then, if that's the case, it's still missing features that the originals had.
Yep. But to be fair, they're features that aren't in Battlefield, so why would they add a whole new feature?
Because they were in the Legacy games.
No, the reason I'm saying that is because it's a joke, and Battlefront is just a giant reskin of Battlefield.
Oh, you said Battle. I still get the fucking names confused.
I know you do. It's fun. Although, with that said, with it being a reskin, I think it's a good-looking reskin. I will wait to see what this looks like when it comes out. I will see if it actually has content. And if it's got more shit to do than the first one, I will probably be interested in it. But there's no fucking way you're going to catch me pre-ordering this game.
Yeah, same here. I want to play it. I'm not pre-ordering it. And I'm probably not spending $60 for it. Especially since I think the first one dropped like a stone as far as its price is concerned very quickly.
You'll see. EA tends to keep stuff expensive, actually. Never know.
Mass Effect Andromeda is $20 right now.
Okay, Mass Effect Andromeda was a bomb, though.
Just
Battlefront sold like hotcakes.
We'll see how it shakes out.
Mm-hmm.
David, why don't you go and move on to the next story for us?
Oh, let's talk about something that's really different. So, in the upcoming Mario Odyssey game, which is a sequel to the very famous Mario franchise, there's actually not going to be.
Hold on. I gotta stop you.
No, dude, let me do this. I'm building it up.
GamePoints exists to speak like a normal human being. Now, admittedly, I have a bunch of verbose word salad come out of my mouth because that's just how I fucking normally talk. But you, David, you're on the show specifically not to spew out the regurgitated game journalism bullshit that PR sends. So don't say this notable Mario franchise sequel shit. Just say it's the new Mario game.
No, dude, it's way more fun for me to fuck with you. Anyway, Mario Odyssey, no game over screen. What's up?
Yeah.
Gone. Get wrecked. And a story from Rocket News 24, which, my favorite place to get news, really. But it's still a good thing. There was a translation from a tweet from the Mario Odyssey Twitter saying, if Mario's health drops to 0 or if he falls down a bottomless pit, you lose 10 of your coins, but no matter how many times you mess up in the game, you will never have a game over. So, this is kind of a departure. Some people, I think, are annoyed. I don't think anyone's really up in arms about it because dying in a Mario game hasn't really been significant in a really damn long time, ever since the old school games where you had 3 lives. But it is a departure in the sense that there's no game over screen anymore. You drop some coins and you start back up again. It's Sonic-y in a way.
Yeah. And I'm totally fine with this, by the way. Like you said, lives haven't mattered.
You get back in the game faster. It's less work.
Yeah, like lives have existed, but it's one of two things, right? Either you have like hundreds of them,
and it doesn't matter,
or you lose them all, and it continues you right at the beginning of that level, and it doesn't matter. It made it pointless to have them. So why have them?
Mario is not a game that's really there to punish you. Mario is a game that's not meant to send you back to the main menu. Mario is a game that's meant to be fun that you can play with your whole family. Anything that takes you out of the action takes you out of the Mario game. So
exactly,
I'm fine with it.
I do like the coin thing because it still has that feel of, well, I want to master this level and never get hit even once. So I want to be able to collect every coin in there and not lose a single one. And there'll be people who do 100% coin runs, deathless,
Yeah.
where it's like I have every single coin of the game and it equals this much total.
Yeah,
So
that'll
if you
happen.
want the challenge, that shit's still going to be in there. Play it the way you want. The lives are pointless in Mario, and they have been pointless for a long time now.
Dang. Must be rough to be a Mario brother.
Well, so when this story came out, there was a little quasi fan fiction posted up on Reddit about this. Because in Mario Odyssey, the hat possesses people, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so I'm paraphrasing here, but you can find this. Someone wrote this story about, his name's Alan. Alan is walking down the street and Mario throws his hat at him. Suddenly Mario knows his entire life. Everything he's been, everything he's done, all of his dark secrets. Mario inhabits Alan's body. Mario knows Alan's girlfriend. Mario and Alan's girlfriend eventually get married, grow old, have a kid. Their kids have kids. Alan on his deathbed calls Alan Jr. over and goes, "Son, I'm proud of you. I want you to have my hat." Alan Jr. goes, "I would love to take your hat, Dad. You never take it off. It's such an honor for me to have this." Alan Sr. reaches out, gives the hat to Alan Jr., and dies. Alan Jr. puts the hat on and doesn't know his father's dead because Mario stretches his arms out in his new body, stretches his legs, and goes off to continue the cycle because there are no more game overs in Mario.
God damn it. That's so stupid.
That's dark as fuck, though. Like,
man,
that is
horrible.
what you're doing in Mario Odyssey. You're just jacking people's wills. You're forcing them to hop on innocent turtles and mushrooms.
Oh my god, okay, no. We are not going down this train. We are not having this discussion. That is not a thing that GamePoints is covering. We don't give a fuck about the hat mechanic. The hat mechanic is fun and quirky. Shut your whore mouth. Next story.
Mario is literally worse than Hitler.
God damn it, you asshole.
He is genociding not just one, but two species.
No.
Turtles and
No.
mushrooms.
No.
He is stealing a woman from her
All
rightful
of this
husband.
is ignoring the fact that Luigi has always been and always will be the superior brother.
Luigi's a little green bitch.
Luigi's got the hotter girlfriend.
Okay, I'll let that one go. I had to think about it. I had a picture in my head.
Fight me, son.
Whose story is this? Yours or mine?
That's yours, man. I don't want to talk about it.
All right, so the story comes via Forbes. So
Yay,
recently, the Crash Bandicoot trilogy was released, the remaster of it.
Insane.
Now, way back in the day, Insomniac and Naughty Dog kind of had this weird love affair. Insomniac would put demos for Naughty Dog games and hidden in their games, and vice versa. They would kind of share demos back and forth. Well, in one of the games, for example, Crash Team Racing contained a demo for Spyro 2. Spyro 2 had a preview for Crash Team Racing, right? It was this kind of incestuous relationship that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Crash Bandicoot Warped had the original, and the original Spyro Dragon also shared ones back and forth. And to do that, you had to input a key. Let me come down on this Forbes article right here. So here's the original book here. And if you typed this code out of a title screen of Crash Bandicoot Warped, you get a preview for Spyro the Dragon. If you do this, apparently, on the title screen for the new Insane trilogy, the remakes of them, the cursor on the front screen disappears. Like, the game registers something has happened. This led to the creation of this Forbes article here saying, hey, perhaps this is some kind of Easter egg. Perhaps there's a tease that Spyro will get remade, and perhaps we'll have a Spyro trilogy. I say bullshit. Listen,
I'm going to say yes and no to you.
No.
Here's why.
That's no.
Yes and no, because no, this specific thing does not indicate that there will be a Spyro remake, because more likely than not, they remastered a game from some old source code, and they were too lazy to pull out that So when you type in that little secret code, the secret code is still accepted by some part of the game, but guess what? There's no demo actually loaded onto the disk anywhere, so it doesn't open anything. It doesn't run anything. There's no exe for it to find.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think this is.
However, I will say that I actually fully believe that there's going to be a Spyro series of remakes or a trilogy remake, much like there was for Crash, and much like there is for every damn franchise released for the last 20 years.
So
for me, it's a given that at some point we're going to see a Spyro remastered. I don't think it has anything to do with this, though.
I agree with you there. There will be a Spyro remake, or at least it's being discussed, right?
But yeah, someone's talking about it.
This code here that just makes the cursor disappear, if this was an actual Easter egg, you would have had like the dragon make a noise, or you've seen a firefly go across the screen, or something. This is just wishful thinking on the behalf of Mitch Wallace here, who I've read a couple of his stuff. I like his articles for the most part. But this one in particular is kind of reaching, and it feels a little bit like trying to cash in on the zeitgeist of what's going on here. Because, I mean,
to be fair, he found a lamppost and he wants to believe. So power to you, Mitch.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. It's wishful thinking. This is, in my opinion, just dead legacy code that leads to nothing. That's why the cursor disappearing is the only thing that happens. I just wanted to get my 2 cents out there because people were kind of taking it as gospel that Spyro Remastered was happening because of this, and no, it's not, guys.
No, since we're on the topic, have you been reading anything on the Insane trilogy?
No,
it's kind of funny to me because people are playing it, and it's fairly popular. Like, it's got a decent amount of people to pick it up, and it's funny just to read all the stories of people who are like, I remember playing this game and dominating it and getting like 100%, and this game is really fucking hard because it's a complete remaster, so it looks a lot better, but it plays exactly the same, and there's still platforming issues because it's a 3D platformer, and when we first switched to 3D platformers, guess what? They were all actually secretly garbage. You didn't know that when you were a kid because you were so excited about the fact that you're playing a platformer in 3D, but yeah, we didn't really know how to jump to platforms back then. Like, the mechanics weren't built into the games. The people that were programming it didn't really know how hitboxes worked in 3D space. And a lot of them had issues where you're trying to jump on stuff that's like 5 pixels wide of the character that's 30 pixels wide.
That's the dirty little secret, right? These games aren't good. They're not. And it's not because they're hard. It's because they're mechanically busted. That's why they're not good.
And that's the big thing that's not getting fixed. But I still think it's fun to see people getting excited about it and people still trying to 100% it, because even though you're having control difficulties and whatever else, I mean, hell, people beat Assassin's Creed 2, and as far as I'm concerned, that game had horrible controls.
Yeah, I don't want to take away from your childhood, right? I mean, if you love Crash Bandicoot, more power to you. But a lot of people are looking back on this with fucking nostalgia glasses hard, because Crash Bandicoot was never a great control game. And once again, I'll reiterate, the game is not hard because the game is hard. The game is hard because the controls are fucking busted, because it's a 3D platformer when it was a new thing.
Yeah.
It's like people are like, oh, Resident Evil 1 was so hard. No, Resident Evil 1 was so hard because the fucking controls were like a tank and not intuitive at all.
Welcome to being a tank, yeah.
Yeah.
But that is the one thing. So if at some point they do have a remade Spyro, hey, Naughty Dog, you guys figured out third-person platforming. Maybe just don't even devote a lot of resources. Just sprinkle a little magic in there. Make that game play better a little bit when you remaster it. Although I'm not sure they'll just hand it off to some other team to do, but still. Wouldn't hurt.
Off topic, give me a Front Mission remaster too.
Oh shit, yeah, dude. Front Mission?
Not the shitty, weird action game you tried making. I want
not Front Mission. Not Front Mission 5.
I want 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
First 3, the PS1 games. Yes.
Well,
Aliens.
One of them is a PS1 game. The other ones, I believe, were Super Nintendo.
Oh shit, were they? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
they're
right.
old, and they were never released here.
Front Mission 3 was on PS1.
Yes, the first 2 dealt with the first and second Hoffman Wars a long time ago. I think 3 was the first one that was ever released in America.
Wow, let's talk about some old games. Well, actually, let's stop talking about old games. Let's talk about new games. And by that, I mean
old games.
Slightly new games that are actually old games. Okay, so in a story from The Verge, Sony's PS Now service has finally added PlayStation 4 games. this is kind of a big deal because when we first talked about the PS Now service, it was a very interesting idea in that you could play some cool first-party Sony games or third-party Sony games on your PC or on your console or on your PlayStation TV or some other stuff. Now, at some point in the recent history, PS Now was actually pulled off of the Sony TVs, so now it's mostly just a PC and a PS4 thing.
Still a mind-boggling decision to me that they fucking pulled it off the Sony TVs themselves.
Well, we speculated, or at least I speculated, correctly, mind you, that they did that because the hardware that was in the TV was not going to be powerful enough for the next batch of things they needed to release, because I said that in order for this service to be successful, they needed to have new current-gen games on it. And guess what? PS4 games are now on the service. So for $20 a month, you can play a shit ton of Sony PS4 games, PS3 games, PS2 games, and I think PS1 games. And they've added the first batch of 20 PS4 titles, including Killzone Shadowfall, a WWE game, Darksiders 2, Definitive Edition, which has a stupid name, almost as stupid as War Mastered, and God of War 3 Remastered. There's going to be a whole bunch more coming. I don't see this stopping anytime soon.
Saints Row
again,
4 Re-Elected Edition's on here.
Hell yeah, dude. It's still $20 a month. I think also Street Fighter 4's on there. There's a few good games.
And Helldivers both are fantastic, too.
The big thing is as long as this continues, it's funny to me that there might be a point where you actually don't need a PS4 either. As it is, you don't need an Xbox, because if you have a PC, you can play all those games. If they keep releasing PS4 games, like, just wait for the minute when they add Last of Us, Uncharted, and these really big Sony titles that you can then play for $20 a month.
I'm looking at this list, though, and I need to double check, but I'm pretty sure of these initial 20 games on here, a couple of these were already given away for free for PlayStation Plus holders. Like, I think Tropico 5 was given away for free. I think Broken
Keep in mind that PS Now is not a PS Plus service.
Right.
They're completely unrelated. PS Now is a totally different thing, and PS Now is on PC, which, cool, if you could have got that on PS Plus, but you didn't if you're a PC gamer.
Now, I'm just saying, I'm seeing a lot of crossover here. Like, for example, Dead Nation is, I believe. I think Grim Fandango is. I think Nidog is. I'd have to double check that, but I think there's a lot of PlayStation Plus crossover here. So if you already own one service, it might not behoove you to pick up the other, unless you want.
Again, I don't think PS Now is for people that have a PlayStation 4 and PS Plus.
Hey, that's
because if you own a PS4 and PS Plus, chances are you can already play PS Classics and you're getting a bunch of games anyway. But if you want to play PS4 games on PC, I think that's who this is for specifically.
Yeah, and really that's awesome that you can do it on PC. All right.
And guess what? Your PC supports PS4 controllers. That's the thing that happened not too long ago.
Readjust my chair here. So,
all right.
I got one last bit of news I want to share, and it's just kind of a quick blurb, but I'm really fucking excited for this. Rebellion has announced that Evil Genius 2 is coming. Now, Evil Genius, not quite classic era of PC gaming when it hit that golden age of games in the 90s when you had like Baldur's Gate and System Shock and all that. But fucking Evil Genius was amazing. Essentially, for those who don't know, Evil Genius played a lot like Dungeon Keeper. Now, if you don't know what Dungeon Keeper is, I can't help you. But Evil Genius was essentially the 60s James Bond-ish version of that, where you played the, Dr. Evil character that you see down here. And you had your hidden lair. You sent out minions and henchmen to fuck up the world economy and bring nations to their knees. They would send James Bond people and troops, and you had to have your base done to defend against these people. Extremely excited to see this game's coming back. I hope Rebellion doesn't fuck it up. I have a very bitter taste in my mouth with what EA did to the Dungeon Keeper franchise with Dungeon Keeper Mobile, so I doubt this is going to do that. But they have more to prove to me than they would have if EA didn't fuck that franchise up. So we'll see how this shakes out. I hope it is fantastic. I have high hopes for it. Whether it's going to pay out remains to be seen. That said, this game is still in development. It's pretty far away. So if I was bored, David, I can't play this right now. So why don't you tell me what I can play right now, or at least sometime this week?
All right, new games. Let's talk about some new games that are actually still old games. For a reason unbeknownst to me, or probably because they're out of fucking games to remaster in this franchise, Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age is out for PS4. Whoop the fuck! No, I don't have a problem with this game. I'm just being an asshole.
You're just
Final
busting
Fantasy
balls
12
today. You're just pissed off and angry about everything.
Yeah, it's fun.
Funny coming
I'm
from
being
me,
you.
considering how it started.
I had to take a little bit of that off. So Final Fantasy XII is a game that I actually think is kind of on the fence for a lot of Final Fantasy fans. There's people that loved it. There's people that love what they did with it and how it changed a lot of the series. And there's people that straight up flat refuse to admit that it's actually a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah,
just because it plays so much different, the way the story builds. It's very political. There wasn't actually a traditional job system. However, now there is. So in the remaster, we have a Zodiac job system. So there's a better leveling system. They fix some things. You still have the same combat mechanics, still the same story. The visuals have been completely remastered, full 1080p. The movies have been remastered, so you actually get all new cinematics, all that fun stuff. The cool thing is going to have 7.1 surround sound with high definition voicing, and they actually newly recorded all the background music, so everything sounds a lot better. Trophy support, share button, autosaves, short loading times, hunts, battles, mini games, all kinds of stuff. It's actually been getting some pretty decent reviews thus far from what I've seen. It's a nice revisit for old fans of this game, and it's a pretty good take for people that missed it in the first place. So if you need more Final Fantasy in your life, you can do that this week on PS4.
Yeah, I do want to play it, but I do feel that Final Fantasy XII specifically was when Square Enix started to kind of chase the Western development, big money RPG rather than focusing on what they like to do. They got really experimental with this thing. 11 aside, because 11 was just them making an MMO catching on the Final Fantasy name.
See, for me, 12 was literally just 11, but in single player form. Yeah, it came out with the same damn combat. It came out with the same slow-paced, kind of shitty story to me at the time. And I honestly haven't beaten a Final Fantasy game since 10. So for me, this franchise ended years ago.
Well, also, too, 12, you can make a very strong comparison that 12, or a very strong argument, rather, that 12 is nothing but Star Wars. All the way down to you have the Luke Skywalker character who saves Princess Leia, hooks up with the bounty hunter and is a henchman, the non-human henchman that stands real tall, essentially Chewbacca. So you could tell this is when they kind of started going, okay, we need to look for outside influences to guide the story too.
Cool. Well, if you don't want to guide your story in a Final Fantasy direction, maybe you want to continue your story from Minecraft Story Mode Season 2. Okay, let's talk about the name of this damn game really quick, okay? So it's going to release on every damn thing because it's a Telltale game, but Minecraft, Story Mode Season 2 - Episode 1 Hero in Residence. Who the fuck are you, Telltale? Square?
The movie / the video game.
/Type RX 32.5.
The greatest title of all time, still, was Peter Jackson's King Kong the movie, the video game.
Anyway, there's another episode in the next season of the Minecraft Story Mode, which actually did really well. People like the Minecraft Story Mode. The big thing is it's going to be a continuation of that game. If you are a huge Telltale fan, obviously you're probably already looking to pick this up. If you are new to the Telltale franchise, there's better places for you to wet your feet. That's the long and short of it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't start here if you're trying to get into a Telltale game at the first time. There's just better places to go. Look elsewhere. But if you can't get enough of them, or if you've beaten Season 1 of Minecraft Story Mode and you have to get the next one, Season 2's out this week. Xbox, PS4, PC, iOS, probably Android, probably Vita. I don't know. Is it on Game Boy? It might be on Game Boy.
Probably.
Also out.
Real quick, if you do want a nice Telltale primer to kind of like the cream of the crop, play Walking Dead Season 1, play The Wolf Among Us, and play the amazingly, shockingly good Batman game they did.
Or you could play MotoGP 17, which is out this week for PS4. This game actually is already out on PC. Take this one with a grain of salt. Maybe wait to see how the reviews do, because on Steam, at least, the reviews are not great. It's very mixed. While it is the best looking in the franchise, it is not necessarily the best playing. There's a new Management mode, which is pretty cool. People seem to like that. Updated tracks. It's good looking, but it is riddled with bugs and has all kinds of issues. The big change for the PS4 version is they do have the esports championship built into it. Actually, kind of a cool deal here. It's similar to what happened with the Gran Turismo GT Academy style thing, except for it's win some tickets and a MotoGP bike. So, play a lot of MotoGP and potentially win a motorcycle, which is pretty damn cool. Also out this week, we have Mr. Shifty on PS4. It is a top-down shooter from Tiny Build. You actually can shift through bullets. You teleport around. It looks very cool. It's got some sweet mechanics that look very interesting and fun to play.
That sounds like a Rick and Morty character, by the way.
Yeah, Mr. Shifty. But yeah, Tiny Build, Team Shifty is the name of the people. You're on a teleportation field heist to break into the world's most secure facility. It looks actually really fun to me.
It is fun.
And it is on PS4. Also coming out this week is Death Squared for Switch. Death Squared has actually already been out on other, I think, consoles and PC before. It's a co-op puzzle game. Cooperate, communicate, blow up robots. The main campaign can be played with 1 or 2 players, and then there's a party mode for 4 people. There's a vault mode for extra difficulty. But yeah, think very simple Portal 2.
Yeah,
I guess.
It's a co-op puzzler.
Yeah, co-op puzzle game. Also out is Anti-Hero this week for PC. Anti-Hero looks awesome as shit. You actually run a thieves guild in a gaslit Victorian city. It's a turn-based strategy game with a fun twist. You're actually recruiting like street urchins and thugs, and you're making a gang, and you get a guild, and you're just basically stealing, bribing, blackmailing, and assassinating your way to victory.
Everything about this game screams sleeper hit. I think it's going to be out for a week or 2, and then people are going to start streaming it, and I think it's going to blow up.
Yeah, I actually fully agree with that. This game looks super fun. And last but probably least, on early access for PC this week is Fire Pro Wrestling World. It's the greatest grappling game in the world. It's a wrestling game with a twist in the fact that you can customize every aspect of the match, from your wrestler to the ring in your fight for the championship belt. You can organize matches, tournaments, leagues, bouts, battle royales. You can change up what kind of death match you want. If you want a steel cage, barbed wire, you want landmines, you want an MMA style fight, you want no holds barred, you want to customize your character to look like
landmines. I'm sorry, that took a while for me to process.
Yes, landmines, no holds barred, gruesome, brutal, murdery fighting.
All right.
And then the fun thing is once you've finished making your character and your body parts and the ring and the mat and the logos and the referee, you can then give your created character a personality with a pretty fun like CPU logic system where you choose like a series of things like are they a dirty fighter? Do they really play and ham it up to the crowd? Are they technical? And yeah, you basically create a wrestling like TV show, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Like you're making drama by making these characters and then they fight. But they might be fighting to the death because you can control everything.
The Fire Pro games have always had this weird, like, super devoted cult following.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, I think
and that is the last game I can think of that's coming out this week. Right. So I think that's going to do it.
And I think that does it for the show itself. This has been GamePoints episode 96. Once again, thank you for watching. We do stream here live at Twitch TV every Monday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at Twitch TV/GamePoints. Very simple to remember. If you can't watch us live, please feel free to join us on YouTube. Just type in GamePoints, one word. We should pop right up. Regardless of where you have to watch us at, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, follow, dislike, or whatever you want. I try to get back to you regardless of whatever comments put down. If you want to follow the show, you can do so on Twitter at GamePoints PC. Follow myself at CapitalistPig21, and you can follow David over there at _story. But without that, this has been GamePoints episode 96. That wraps up for this week. And we will see you next week. And until then, we're out of here.
Don't pre-order.